Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular presentation, brothers and sisters, we do not intend for it to be long. We are going to go over 10 slides, 40 names, found in the book of Genesis, chapter 10. Also found for those interested in the book of Chronicles. I want to, brothers and sisters, in due respect, give due respect to the people who were my teachers in history. Chief Simeon ben Yehuda. In Hebrew, More Mishael ben Yisrael. In encouragement regarding Hebrew, More Tibak ben Yisrael. As far as knowing anything of ancient Hebrew, More Hoshea ben Kohen ben Yisrael. May those people who I mentioned rest in peace. May those who influence me in the language now, Kohen Mikael, More Yehotzedek, Ima Tamikia, and Ima Shoshana, may Elohim bless their lives and cause them in their success to be in existence. Brothers and sisters, I want to give due respect on a human level to the lady in my life, Sarai Makela of the house of Yisrael. Brothers and sisters, we ask you all to subscribe to this channel, whatever channel you're watching this on. More Yeshaya history lessons, More Yeshaya Hebrew lessons, or More Yeshaya Torah lessons. We apologize for those who were listening or attempting to last night to the presentation called The Translation of the Kings of Israel. Due to technical difficulties, it did not work its best. And in giving thanks to the Most High, now that having a microphone that works pretty well, we want to, brothers and sisters, expound upon this matter. Let us, without any further ado, pull up the PowerPoints and go on from that particular case. We ask you all to get your pens, your pads, your paper, and take notes. The translation of the names in Genesis, part 2. Shalom, giving honor to the Creator of heaven and earth. In this presentation, we will translate 40 of the names in Genesis chapter 10. We hope you all will subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share. We do not claim to know everything and are open to constructive criticism. So again, brothers and sisters, we ask you all to get your pens, your pad, your paper, and take notes. Let us look at this, brothers and sisters. Noah, said in Hebrew as Noach, and the name means comfort, brothers and sisters. Shem means name or fame, and said as shame, brothers and sisters. Ham, meaning warm or hot, said as calm. And we have Japhet, meaning entice or persuade, and said as Yafet. So, brothers and sisters, two things we want to point out is that Japhet, knowing that the Yod, brothers and sisters, in many cases in transliteration is put as the J. All right? Many have stated that Japhet means beautiful or so forth from the word yapa or yape, but it does not mean that, and I say that in no disrespect. The word Japhet comes not from the word yafa or yapa or yape, but rather from the word pata. It is, for those interested in Hebrew like that, referred to as a lamed hey verb. So that would be a pay, a ta, and a hey. You will see that in cases in Exodus and in Ezekiel where the word is translated as entice or persuade. All right. Ham, brothers and sisters, means warm or hot. And the word hum, which is a ket, a waw, and a mem, means brown. And shem, as we pointed out, means fame or name, because your name is your fame. What you're seeing on the right side is what is called the world as known to the Hebrews. And here we see where Ham was, Shem was, and Japhet was. I just want to make a slight correction, slightly, that when we go over Shem's line and we see about the matter of Elam, Elam inhabited modern day Iran. Earlier on the congregation site, Shomrei Habrit, we went over about Ur of Chaldees. That is in the area of modern day Basra, which is in Iraq. So Genesis chapter 2 speaks about the 4 rivers that went out from the garden. And those 4 rivers are in modern day, though incorrectly the term used, Middle East. So let us, brothers and sisters, get into this particular case. And let us, brothers and sisters, expound upon this matter. Gomer to Meshach. The word Gomer means finishing, from the root word gamar, means to finish. Kitim means sex, like this sect over here and that sect over there. Kitim is the word meaning that. Rifat means the crushing of corn, and we see the resh, the yod, the pay, and the tau in that particular case. Tarshish means hard. Dodanim is the word meaning cousins, like Dod is uncle, Doda is aunt. Dodanim means cousins. The word tiras means corn. The word tubal means it will be led. That is a pull-out stem for those interested in that matter. And meshek means pulling, or that's to say a pulling, like a pulling of the cord. You would use the word meshek in that case. So these are some of the descendants of Japhet in the translation of their names for edification purposes. If there are any questions or comments, please feel free to state them. Brothers and sisters, the side notes on the right side. Japhet, the son of Noah, had 7 sons. They inhabited so that beginning at the mountains Taurus and Amanus, they proceeded along Asia as far as the river Tansis, and along Europe to Cadiz, and settling themselves on the lands which they light upon, which none had inhabited before, they called the nations after their own names. Now, I get that, brothers and sisters, citation from the book of Josephus. So I just want to cite where I'm getting my information from. Japhet, the son of Noah, excuse me, inhabited areas as into Europe as far as Cadiz. Cadiz is in modern day Spain. So this is what we want to point out for reference purposes. Next slide. Cush and Nimrod. Cush meaning black or to lay bait. Mizraim meaning double distress. Mizraim. This has been pointed out in the book that I wrote, as well as in videos done upon these channels. Put meaning bow. Canaan, Canaan meaning merchant. Havila means district. And it's said in the language as Kawila. Siba, Sabah, is a word that is applied meaning one who drinks wine. Ra'ama, Ra'ama or Rahma means quivering. And Sheba, ending in Hebrew in this case with the letter Aleph and not the letter Hey, means expedition. So we want to point this out, brothers and sisters. And these part is coming from the line of the sons of Ham. All right. Cush, translated there, down to Sheba. Next we have here Nimrod, pronounced in the language as Nimrod, means one who causes rebellion or to cause rebellion. Babel, meaning confusion. Erech, which is one of the cities that Nimrod had founded. Erech means long, L-O-N-G. And also in Genesis 10, we see these other names here. Lahabim means flames, like the flame of a fire. And we have Naphtuhim, pronounced as Naptuhim, meaning those which are opened, from the root word patak, which means to open. This is a Nephal stem for those interested. Kaftorim, Kaftor. The word Kaftor means knob, like the knob on the door. So Kaftorim means knobs. Heth, said in the language as Kate, where the people of the Hittites come from. It means shattered, brothers and sisters. And Hivite, said in the language as Hiwi, means villager. So we just wanted to go over these names and translating the names in Genesis part 2. Again, we ask you all to comment, like, share, and to subscribe to the channel. Next slide, please. Amorites and Hamathites. Amorites, A-M-O-R, and Mori. This is from the root word Amar. Amar means to say, like one is saying something. The Arkite, A-R-A-Q, Ha'arqui or Arqui. This is from the root word Arak, which means to gnaw, like you gnawing at something with your teeth. We see here Zemarite, Zamar, Zemer, Zamari, Zemer, Zamar. This is from the root word Zemer, which means wool, like the kind of clothing that people wear as in wool. And Hamathite, Hemeth, Hamat, Hamati. This is from the word Hamat, and this means fortress. So, brothers and sisters, we wanted to, brothers and sisters, Shalom Dorayahu Ben Dora. We wanted to, brothers and sisters, go over those particular names in that particular case. The children of Ham possess the land from Syria and Amanus and the mountains of Libanus, seizing upon all that was on the sea coast and as far as the ocean, and keeping as it were their own. Some indeed of its names are utterly vanished away, others of them being changed, and another sound given to them are hardly to be discovered. Now, brothers and sisters, for those interested, Hamites was in modern day Asia and in modern day Africa. Again, Hamites was in modern day Asia and modern day Africa. So we want to point that out for reference purposes. And what I got on the side there also came from Josephus. Elam and Eber. Elam, said as Elam, means youth. Like the word Elem means young man, and Alma means young woman. Well, Elam means youth. Ashur means one of happiness. Aram means high, like one that is high or a matter that is high. Now, I don't mean to be funny. When I say high, I'm not talking about a matter under substance. Ooze, said in the language as oots, means firmness. All right. Hul, said in the language as hul, with the ket there, means circle. All right. Mash, said in the language as mash, the mem and the sheen. That means remove. That is for those interested in ayin wow verb. That is when the wow is the third, pardon me. That is when the wow is the second root letter. Shelah, said in the language here as shalak, ending with the ket, means send. And here we have eber meaning crossing over. So, brothers and sisters, we wanted to go over these names for edification and reference purposes. It says Shem, the third son of Noah, because some people say Shem was the first son. Some say in history that Shem was the third son. So that's not the biggest issue on this particular matter. Had 5 sons who inhabited the land that began at Euphrates and reached out to the Indian Ocean. Now we know, brothers and sisters, where the Indian Ocean is, even in modern times. Again, it's coming from the book of Josephus. I try to cite as many sources as possible in order to substantiate one's claim. But the main focus on this, not taking anything away from the geography, is more so the matter of linguistics. We put this on the channel, Moreh Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. And Moreh Yeshaya Torah Lessons. Please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I am open for constructive criticism, giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. This presentation was brought to you in shining and dining. In other words, it was brought to you all in love. I attempted, by looking at different sources, the names of the people we read in the Bible to gain understanding. Now, why do I state that? I was asked by Dorayahu Ben Dora, is there a correlation between Elam, youth, and Olam, forever? To my knowledge, no. And the reason why I say that, brother, in part, in a way, because the word forever as Olam doesn't literally mean like forever. The closer word to forever is the word Netzach. All right? The word Netzach with a noon, a zadeh, and a ket. You might hear a brother say in the prayer sometime, Nitzach Nitzakim, which means forever and forever. Olam is generally stated meaning forever, but that really comes more so from the word Halem. Halem, beginning with that letter Hey, in that case, means to disappear or to vanish. So when they translate Olam as the word forever, what it more so would mean is an undistinguished length of time or a time in which we do not know. Do they not have the same shoresh or root? Alrighty, let's look. Elam, Alma, and Elam are nouns. Olam, meaning forever, comes from the word Helem, which is a verb. So the root of a noun, I'm not too sure if nouns are known by roots. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that brother that Verbs are known to having a root, but I wouldn't say, to the best of my knowledge, that noun has it. If so, I stand to be corrected. But the words are spelt similar in one way or another. They may really be a connection. But what I was trying to say, and I appreciate the question, my brother. What I was trying to say, Brother Dora, is trying to get to the most literal ground definition and root as possible. To get to the most ground and literal definition translation as possible. So that's why that's the answer and the route I took. Again, I am open to constructive criticism. I attempted by looking at different sources, the names of the people we read of in the Bible to gain understanding. Why do I go there? May she rest in peace, my mother. Used to pick up the Bible, read it, and would not get past Genesis 2 or 3. Or maybe not past chapter 6. Who is Methuselah? Who is Lamech? Who is Enoch? I'm not used to these names. So, yes, this was when she was a teenager. She told me she did that. So that helped motivate me being taught the Torah first by my imam, by my mother. I wanted to give to the people in the name of the Most High. Hopefully, this is acceptable for the Creator. The definition of the names we read of in Genesis, so we won't, as a people, be turned off by reading names we are not familiar with. So that was the point in these kind of lessons. Some may be turned off from reading the Bible due to reading names they are not familiar with. Thus, these presentations are introduced. We ask you all to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share the video as well. I can be reached at 908-587-4841. History Not for the Novice, Part 4. Sunday, November 27th, 2022, 9 p.m. Eastern. Moreh Yeshaya Torah Lessons. Moreh Yeshaya History Lessons. Moreh Yeshaya History Lessons 2. Those are the 3 channels that presentation, Elohim willing, is intended to be upon. This presentation will be done intendedly November 27th, a Sunday. That is during the time in what they call their Thanksgiving or the Turkey Day weekend. So I'm going to use that time on that said Sunday, Yom Rishon, first day of the week, to do that presentation. We hope you all subscribe to the channel and like and share the videos. Again, my number, 908-587-4841. Email, yyisrael22@yahoo.com. Shalom. Brother Dora, you typed in and said, thanks for answering my questions. I don't know everything. It is nonetheless the duty of a moray. If you accept that title, people call you that title. And I remember, no disrespect intended, I was in one congregation, a camp, and they said moray. And I turned around and it was like, no, not you, the other moray. What does that tell me? Is that, yes, a brother is respected as a moray. And in so, you can't just be a moray on Shabbat. So if you're taking your own time after Shabbat on a said Saturday night, where anybody could be anywhere doing anything, we thank you all for joining on in the presentation. You can't sit there and not respect the people who respect you. I will say, while accepting the title of moray as teacher, I refuse, being 42 years old, to call somebody, whether they're in their 30s, their 20s, or in their 50s, being older than myself. I will never call a grown man or a grown woman my student. I will not say Talmidai, my students, or Talmidotai, and my female students. I would say my elders, my brothers, and my sisters in the youth. Those are the titles that I will call. If you're a youth, if you are a peer to me, brother or sister, or if you're not my peer, I will call you Zaquain for elder or Zaquaina for female elder. But I don't feel comfortable while even accepting the term as more or teacher to call another human being my student. It's just a Yeshaya thing. Doesn't make one better, just is what it is in that case. Danite Publications, that is my website. You can go to danitepublications.com. My mission is to help set truth back in the earth. Truth that has been suppressed, either deliberately or otherwise. Truth that has been made to seem boring or out of touch. Truth that has been made to look religious or philosophical. The truth that has been called old and yet shows the origin of matters. That stuff you're going over in Genesis. Even though archaeologists use the book of Genesis, even though archaeologists, as stated, use the book of Genesis for matters, even though linguists use the Bible in order to ascertain the meaning of certain words and how it transforms from one word to the other. Example, Kabiru, Habiru, Hebrew. Example, we went over Put, being a descendant of Ham, meaning bow, B-O-W, in the presentation here. Fut are the people of the Futa Jalon that are Hamites that dwell in Western Africa. Mizraim is not the name one had for oneself. That is a name that is given from the Israelites to the people later on called the Egyptians. Just as much as the people called Greeks did not call themselves Greeks. The Romans called them Grecia. The people called Greeks called themselves the Hellenes, where you get Hellenism from. The Israelites did not call themselves Hebrews unless they were addressing other Hebrews about themselves. But among themselves, Yisrael called themselves Yisrael. We already went over Tamehu and Tashmehu, Upper and Lower Egypt, and coming together called the foot inside of the Egyptian language, the red and white crown called Samatawi, which meant to Hotep inside the Egyptian dynasty, number 11 war. Hint, get the book Egypt Talking Writing. I'll talk about that. But brothers and sisters, contact info, daynightpublications.com. Phone number, again, 908-587-4841. Cash App, $ Frankson1. That is $ FRANKSSON, the number 1. Psalms 85:11. Truth shall spring from the earth. Exodus chapter 20, verse 9. 6 days shall thou labor. So when a brother is talking about trying to put out a book and getting things accomplished, 6 days you shall labor. The Most High gave you 6 days to get all your work done. That's not an option. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work is a commandment. Just as much as the Shabbat is a commandment to not work, so are you commanded to work 6 days. The book you see there on the left side is on Amazon for $12. Deuteronomy 28, the condition of the blacks. I want to show that I have a copy of it on me, if we will. Pardon. Right here, brothers and sisters, is this book here. All right? You can see it being shown. This is the back cover of such. And brothers and sisters, I went over the matter of Deuteronomy 28:68 in this book. So you can get that book by going on Amazon. And for the people who have patronized, I say thank you and may the Most High bless you for such. Is this an updated version of the book? All right, I'm gonna say this. If you already have the bigger book that's now $30 on Deuteronomy 28, you don't have to necessarily get the smaller one. This book that you're seeing on the left-hand side is a smaller version of the bigger book that had the brown cover. All right, so I just want to show that for reference purposes. All right, so let's go on. Thank you for that question. Get the books, support the brother. The books available online. There is a deal for those interested. One can get all 5 history books. Deuteronomy 28:15-68, From Assyria to America, Part 1. Egypt Talking Writing, From Assyria to America Part 2, Israelite History as it Relates to the World. You can get all 5 of those books for $100. And when people pay me, I don't sit there and keep the money and not give the books. I promise that. So for those who do want that, as opposed to going online and paying $130 for that, unless you don't have Prime and they may, heaven forbid, charge you more, or however other way you get it through barnesandnobles.com or so forth and so on, one can get it directly from me. There is a deal for those interested. All 5 history books, totaling over 800 pages of history for $100. So what am I saying? Within these 5 books, there's over 800 pages of historical notes and citations and references for $100. So you're paying for less than $1 for a page of history. And these books here, and is not trying to sell myself for anything like that, brothers and sisters, it's college referenced. The most difficult book to write was the Egypt Talking Writing. That book right there, that was the hardest book to write with the citations and the references. The easiest book to write of these 5 here was Israelite History as it Relates to the World. That book was the easiest to write of all 5. What book of all of these do I recommend? If you really, really are into history, if you just want one book, I will say the book From Assyria to America. That one right there, yeah, that one right there, I really did my citation thanks to the Most High. It's college referenced left and right. It starts off talking about Israelites in Egypt with sources that's not in the other books, and then gets into from Israelites in Egypt to Israelites in America. Then I take you back to talk about the Israelites in Assyria, the Israelites in Babylon, the Israelites in Greece, the Israelites in Rome, the Israelites that went to Ghana, Dahomey, Mali, and places like that, and ending, brothers and sisters, with a situation of the Israelite congregation that was in Harlem. So it starts from ancient Israelite history to modern Israelite camps. I'm asked here, what about signed copies not being at the book signings? Some authors do charge you for a signed copy. I believe in is not to be haughty. Treat people how you want to be treated. When somebody actually told me, brother, that they want $5 more for a signed copy, you know, one second, family. Sorry about that. Yeah, we waiting for food. Sidebar. Now getting back into this. When somebody told me personally that they wanted $5 more for a signed copy, personally, I didn't deal business with that person. I understand as an author, it is very disrespectful for people to come, yo, let me get a free copy, let me get a free book. That is disrespectful after you put all that work and that time in and is not respected. Many authors ask you when you buy it online to give a recommendation or a compliment if you care to on Amazon or whatever source you bought it from, or to take a picture of it and show it with them. Sometimes authors ask people to do that, but I do not charge extra for a signed copy. No, to answer your question, Aki, I do not charge extra for that. You can do so by contacting me 908-587-4841. One can also Cash App, as pointed out, $ Frankson1. $ FrankSson, the number 1. If one pays directly to me, it will be delivered by FedEx unless otherwise noted or requested. What do I mean by that? Because sometimes Amazon doesn't deliver to P.O. boxes. So if you want it in a P.O. box, that will require one to go to the post office to go and drop off the material. FedEx does not drop in P.O. boxes, but I know FedEx drops off to the person's door or wherever address is given. I also understand that while people doing business don't know each other personally, everybody is not comfortable giving the author the direct address. So sometimes they'll use a P.O. box or another form of getting their supplies or their mail or anything like that. That too is respected. So if you want it, but you don't deal with FedEx for one reason or the other, or you deal with a P.O. box, that is something we'll discuss if you contact me if one wants the book directly from me. All right, so just want to point that out for reference purpose. Next slide. And that's that. Okay. Books by Vincent Hutchinson, giving honor to my father in such name. Price list. These books here, Deuteronomy 28, $30, $30 from Assyria to America, Egypt Talking Writing. These books here, $30 each. $20 and $20. All right. So with that being the case, just wanted to point that out for reference purposes, if we will. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, Maker of heaven and earth. What we're going to do in closing out is go back to the beginning of this and scroll down from slide to slide in silence so the people can see what the presentation was for their own self.